Good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Lots of people were in the chat room before we started. That was a lot of fun. Today's Wednesday, June 27th, and this is show number 47 of Captain Housekeeper Live. I'm so happy to see you all here. Thank you for stopping by this morning, or this afternoon, depending on where you live. If this is your first time here and you want to join in the chat room, I would love to see where you're from. Please join in. If you're having trouble finding the chat room, maybe you've turned your device sideways and it's gone full screen, and that takes away the chat option. So you have to put the phone or the device the other direction so that the chat shows up. Should be at the bottom of the screen. And chime on in. Let us know where you're from. It's good to see you. Good morning, Elisa. And good morning, KB. It's good to see you. Diana's here for, is this your first time, Diana? Uh, Diana came over from Kristen's podcast, Yarn on the Beach. So I'm happy to see you, Diana. Hey, Cheryl's here from the Woolen Hook. Good morning, Cheryl. Maggie was here earlier in the chat room. I hope you're still here, Maggie. Um, it's always good to see you. Let's see if I missed anybody that was here before. And oh, Julie jumped in first thing a few minutes ago in the chat room because it's a big day at her work. So she jumped in to say hi. It's always good to see. Oh, Diana's in Wyoming. What a beautiful place to be from. It's so beautiful in Wyoming. Good to see you, Diana. I love Wyoming. When I was a kid, we used to drive. I had family in Michigan, and we lived in Lake Tahoe. So we would drive back and forth during the summer to go visit family. We always drove through Wyoming, and it was always so beautiful. So, hope to make it back there someday. I'm glad you're here, Diana. Well, today's that special day of the month. It happens every month at least once where I go through my attack plan. And remember, my attack plan is it's like an Excel spreadsheet I created where I've divided up my daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly chores and spread them out so that I can get all my chores done, have something I can check off, the list, I can check it off. And also I can add in stuff that needs to only be done once a month or once a year. I do have a printable version of my attack plan on my website, and the link to that blog post is in the show description down there. If you're on a device like a phone, you have to click this see more button for all the links to pop up in case you haven't been able to find them in the past. But anyway, as it cycles around all the different chores, today's that magical day that once I get all my daily chores done, there's nothing extra on the list. And I've gotten most of my daily chores done before the show started, so I'm free. I don't know what I'm going to do. I do have to go get a few groceries because I've run out of a few staples, but gosh, I want to do something fun. It's hump day. There's nothing extra on my to-do list. I don't know what I'll do. There's plenty to do, but I'm just not going to even think about it. I'm going to go into denial. So yay for no extra work. Go swimming with the dogs. Well, I do that anyway, Julie, every day. Every morning and every evening we go out to the pool. Except on the days they go to daycare because they're too tired. I don't need to, because they would get all excited in the pool and they need to cool down and rest. I don't want them to overexert themselves in this summertime heat we're having. Maggie says, museum, park, historical site. That's a great idea, Maggie, as long as it's indoors, right? We have some really amazing museums here in Houston. Our museum district is world class. And I am a member of the Natural Science Museum and also the Fine Art Museum. So either of those I can just walk into any time and go into any of their presentations there. So that sounds like a great idea. And tomorrow is Thursday, and I don't want to go then because on Thursday all the museums are free. So everybody from the city can come, and guess who they bring? They bring all their kids. So the museums fill up with lots of screaming children, and as a child-free adult, I'll go today. That's a great idea, Maggie. Thank you for suggesting that. Hello, Angela. It's good to see you, Angela. Yeah, so maybe I'll do that. Well, yesterday, remember after the show, I had to go to the mechanic and just get some regular service done on my car. But when I got there, I took my iPad so I can, all I did was Google stuff and watch YouTube. I was going to be so productive. But what I ended up doing is sitting there for 2.5 hours, which was longer than I expected. But so when I went in and I talked to the service guy, I go to the dealership because I have like a service package. So I'm at the dealership, so they know my car, right? And my phone hasn't been able to hook up to the Bluetooth music system since 2 phones ago. And B, because I'm brilliant, right? I know everything. I tell myself that. I really don't. Um, I said to the guy, I would think the onboard system of the car should have had some type of firmware update. I was being all geeky and technical, like I knew what I was talking about. Because my phone won't hook up to it anymore. And he looked at me and said, he's like 12 years old. He was like, that's not how it works, Grandpa. I was like, okay. Why won't my phone hook up? Yeah, okay, let's go out to your car. So we went out to the car, sat in the car before it went in to get serviced. And he took my phone and he punched the screen on the car. He punched my phone, he punched the screen. And I had a flashback immediately to when the Xfinity guy was here and he said, I need to test the TV. And when he turned it on, it was the Hallmark channel. And so I said ESPN into my remote really fast to change it to sports. Something I don't watch. Well, I had that flashback because he said I have to test the music. Now, I have like 5,000 songs on my phone for the universe to choose from to display and play on my car. I mean, I have hard rock music, I have like good old boy country music, and he pushes the button, boom, the Carpenters started playing. I like the Carpenters. He just kind of looked, I could see he was looking at me out of the side of his eye. And I grabbed the phone and I was like, I have heavy metal, I do. And he was like, dude, whatever. But bottom of the line, bottom line is he got the phone to work again. And once again, that auto mechanic doesn't think I'm as macho as I think I am. Julie said, so that's my mechanic story. Julie says, I think it's a requirement in our neighborhood that you can't go outside as a kid without screaming nonstop. You know, I think that's a requirement too. I have a friend, I won't mention her name because she's known in the knit and crochet community, and I don't want to embarrass her. But she said that as soon, she was about, I don't know how many years younger than her husband, as soon as her husband turned 50, which was the minimum age, they moved into a gated community for seniors. Have strict restrictions about children visiting because she's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't blame her. Angela loves the Carpenters. I do too. Or Hello by what's her name? You mean Adele? Yeah, I have that album too. She has a very powerful voice. If you turn it up to hear all the depth of the music, it's like, oh, my ears are bleeding. Get off my lawn. Oh, Me Miller Wright. Is that how you pronounce your name? Me Miller Wright? I think you're new. It's good to see you, Me Miller Wright. Yes, you may come to the museum with me. I'll meet you there. It sounds like fun. The more the merrier. And Julie says, yeah, that song makes her ears bleed too. Diana said, I shouldn't care what he thinks about my music as long as I enjoy it. Who cares? Very good advice, Diana. Actually, I really didn't care. But it would have been better if something a little more, get her done came up. I live in Texas. I'm a transplant. I always have this feeling like I should be like, get her done. It's not me. Anyway, remember yesterday I told you I got some of these Swedish cloths, Stitching Out Loud. Captain Stitching Out Loud, I don't think she's here, had asked me if I'd ever tried them. And I hadn't tried them, but I got them yesterday. And I took one out and I tried it yesterday. I've only tried it in the kitchen. This is my plan. I'm going to try it in different rooms because you can use it in the kitchen or to clean your car or whatever. And these are European. The Europeans came up with this. And these are made in Germany, actually. They're made from wood pulp and cotton. And it's been harvested from sustainable forests. And the dyes and inks are non-toxic. And this replaces... according to them, I'm testing it out, this replaces 15 rolls of paper towels because it eventually wears out and you throw it away. but it's machine washable and stuff too, which is kind of cool. That's 15 So I tested it in the kitchen yesterday, and sure enough, it works great. It works great because, I've crocheted and knit some dishcloths that I use over the years. And the thing about those is they retain a lot of water. And to get a really nice clean surface, you don't want it to be too wet. You want the cloth to be just kind of damp. And if you've ever used one of those chamois when you wash the car and use the chamois to dry it off because it just makes it spot free, that's kind of the effect this had in the kitchen. Because I wiped down the counters and they were real, I have granite, and they were really shiny. And I was like, oh, that's a really good feature of this, is it doesn't hold a lot of water, but it makes everything kind of spot free. So I'm enjoying that. Of course, you have to wet it first because they're paper. So anyway, so thumbs up so far. If you want to read more about those, I threw them in my Amazon product page, which the link is in the show description down there. You can check out the ones I got. There's like a bazillion different variations on it, and they have different prints and stuff. But I got a question from Captain Teresa, which kind of goes along with this. She asked me yesterday, how often should you disinfect your sponges, and how often should you change them out? And she had said, I think she said she uses a new one every month, which seems reasonable. What I think, and this goes along with this, because I think if you're reusing something, like a paper towel, of course you would throw it away, and maybe you have a dishcloth or you have a sponge. If you're using something that's reusable, I believe that you need to disinfect that every single day, because bacteria grows very quickly. Foodborne stuff like salmonella and all that comes off chicken and all that, it grows really fast. And your house is actually warm, even though you might have it air conditioned. It's just the perfect incubator for bacteria. So you need to do that every day. And what I do, my habit is, I don't go to bed unless the dishes are done. So I have a dishwasher, thank goodness. I read that only 40% of Americans have a dishwasher, and that shocked me. So if you don't have a dishwasher, you don't have to use one, obviously, to disinfect your sponge. But what I do is I throw my sponge in the dishwasher every single evening, so that it goes through a wash cycle and it gets disinfected also, because it gets the temperature up to the temperature that kills all the bacteria. If you don't have a dishwasher, another way you can do that is you can put it in the microwave for 3 minutes. So I get it wet and I put it in the microwave for 3 minutes. Or you can, and if you don't have a microwave, because people don't have microwaves sometimes too, is I had a friend that she would do her dishes, and then the sink would be empty. And of course you want to clean your sink after you do your dishes, because your sink's filthy after you do dishes. More on that. I do have a video on how to hand wash dishes. Look at my YouTube channel. It's in the playlist Cleaning House, I think. And the last step, of course, is you need to clean and disinfect the sink. So what she did is, after she cleaned and disinfected her sink after the dishes, she would fill the sink with about 3 inches of water, and she'd put a cap full of bleach in the water, and then she would float her dishcloth, and this would work with a sponge too, and she would just let that sit in there overnight. She didn't even worry about it till the next morning. Then she would drain it and rinse it all out. But you have to do that every day. And Captain Teresa, thank you for the question. I use my sponge until it starts to fall apart. To be honest, it starts to break off little pieces, and I feel comfortable and then I change it out. And I don't know how often that is. But I feel comfortable doing that because I disinfect it every night in the dishwasher, because it has a sanitation cycle on it. So I hope that answered your question. I saw some stuff come in. Yes, Maggie asked about disinfecting in the microwave. Yes, that works really well. You need to put it on your highest setting for at least 3 minutes, and that will kill any bacteria that's in your dishcloth or your sponge. It's really important not to be spreading around the bacteria. And this is something that's a lot of people buy chicken and they wash the chicken because you want to wash it and dry it before you eat it. And I was reading that washing your chicken, the water splashing on it splashes more of that salmonella bacteria around your kitchen than if you were to just cook it off and not wash it. So if you're going to cook the chicken properly, to where it's properly cooked and done, it's better to just not rinse the chicken off than to splatter salmonella all over your sink and stuff. Because if you're not really super careful about cleaning up your whole area, you could have problems in the future. So I've stopped washing my chicken because, hey, Maxine, nice to see you. Maxine loves her dishwasher. Yeah, I moved into this house and it was a fixer upper, which was kind of fun. And the dishwasher, because the universe has a sense of humor, it was the exact same model of the dishwasher of my previous house that had been recalled because it burned houses down. I don't remember the brand. So I moved into this house and it was the same dishwasher. It was like, oh my gosh, it's like Groundhog Day. So I had to replace this dishwasher. So I made sure when I replaced it that I looked at the features and it had a sanitation feature because it's just cleanliness is important to me because I like to sanitize things. And you can cook salmon in your dishwasher. It was back in the early 90s. There was this big trend of cooking in your dishwasher. I can't get on board with that. That's disgusting. Hey, 7 people are here. Good to see you, everyone. And 8 people have liked the video. You do the math. YouTube math is hard. Somebody must have left and clicked it on their way out. I appreciate it. Yes, Maggie, people clean, they cook stuff in their dishwasher for a while. Well, you know, it gets up to a certain temperature, and that's all you need to cook stuff, right? So it sounds disgusting to me. Although, you know, sometimes if the dish doesn't come out perfectly clean, you know, there's a little bit of food cooked on that after the cycle, I think, you know, it's clean. I just scrape it off. It's clean food. Anyway. Oh, Maxine says, I have stopped washing chicken too, but it's difficult. I've always felt like I need to rinse it off. I have too, Maxine. And have you done it for the same reasons I was mentioning? You know, I pat it off. You know, I don't know if I'll use this reusable cloth for that, but I like to pat it off so that it's not bloody. But the idea that stuff gets splashed around, you know, I used to watch Hoarders. And I think it messed with me, and I have some PTSD from watching Hoarders a few years ago. You know, things like if you don't close the toilet before you flush it, stuff splashes out. It's like, oh. So anyway, yeah, close your toilet and don't wash your chicken. Me Miller writes that I get freaked out when someone uses their sponge to clean their dishes after cleaning their counters or leave the sponge on the counter. Yeah, absolutely. You're spreading, you're either cleaning or you're spreading it around. So you have to think about every step you're doing, don't you? So that you don't cross-contaminate. I was watching a show, Worst Cooks in America? I think that's what it was called. It's such a fun show because those people are bad. It just made me feel good about myself. So Worst Cooks in America, I think they had a celebrity edition, but this person cross-contaminated the whole kitchen with chicken because, and what they did is every time she turned and touched something else, they would pop up like an arrow and says cross-contaminated. And so it showed all the places because she wasn't watching what she was doing that she got chicken juice all over the whole kitchen because she just wasn't thinking. So yeah. Maggie's not a germaphobe, but yeah, I know that about you, Maggie. I think of you every time I go to the grocery store because once Maggie and I had a conversation about using those Purell wipes on the grocery cart. And she was like, yeah, but you know, you need the exposure so that you build up a resistance. And I said to her, yeah, but that's where people put their babies with diapers. And it's like, I am not pushing that shopping cart after somebody's put their, you know, those diapers aren't foolproof. So I clean the area that my hands will touch because I've seen what children do to shopping carts. Anyway, hey, me Miller, right, Maxine. Just because you're in charge of your house doesn't mean you have to do everything. Always automate and delegate whenever possible. And if you're curious what I mean by that, there is a blog post on my website about automate and delegate with a link in the show description. I'm so glad you all came today. Make sure you like and share this video. Ring the subscription. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, ring the notification bell, and you will be notified when I go live. You never know. I might go live from the museum. USA. Bye-bye.